Halo has got to be one of the greatest sci-fi stories ever written. Its lore feels like something that's possible for humanity in the far future, something that's not out of reach. See what I did there? Reach? Like Halo reached a popular video game? So funny, right? It's hilarious. Cue the laughing noises now. Its villains tell a story of technology that to us right now isn't even comprehensible to modern humanity, but obviously by the title, we're putting the Covenant against modern humanity today. While I know it's a topic that's been watched for the YouTube grapevine thousands of times, I wanted to give my own take on it, and not just focus on the classical USA vs. Alien, hurrah, freedom. What we'll be doing today is pitching just a single Covenant CSO-Class supercarrier against a few countries and you see how they would fare. And you might ask, Rex, that seems a bit unfair, right? It's a single ship, that can't do anything against the whole country. And that, dear viewer, is when I tell you to read the Halo books on what a CSO-Class supercarrier has. Hint, it makes Funny Mustache Man's arsenal look like a toddler's Nerf gun collection. Covering its weaponry first, it obviously has its glassing beam, which kind of turns everything within a 1,000-mile radius into so much flaming cum I think Elton John might get jealous. Its other armors just added onto this, and I'm going to do my best to pronounce all this, is 12 European pattern super heavy plasma lances, Yuqua pattern heavy plasma beam arrays, 80 Luxor pattern heavy plasma beam emitters, 32 mixed-tick pattern heavy plasma torpedo silos, 800 raw Aka pattern rapid fire pulse lasers, and 490 feral pattern pulse. Obviously, that's a lot of fucking firepower, not to mention the size of this thing. 28.96 kilometers long, 11.4 kilometers wide. For all the Americans, that's 18 miles long and 7.1 miles wide. For example, it is longer than the distance of San Diego to Tijuana, so it's pretty big. Not to mention how many people it holds. A Covenant cruiser holds 40,000 troops, not including other crew. So I want you, valuable viewer, to take a guess, and I'll give you a hint. Fort Worth. A single Covenant supercarrier has about the population of Fort Worth, Texas, crew and soldiers. Now on to what other things this behemoth carries. Phantom gunboats, Type 25 troop carriers, Type 26 ground support aircraft, Type 27 exophatmeric multi-role fighters, Type 31 I'm not pronouncing that. Multi-role fighters, Type 29 troop vehicle transports, Type 47 ultra-heavy assault platforms, Type 52 troop carriers, orbital insertion pods, boarding craft, several SDV-class heavy corvettes. This thing is so massive it carries other warships, several of them. From what I can find on multiple wikis, it also carries up to 1,000 Banshees and 1,000 fighters, not to mention the Phantoms, Ghosts, and basically Covenant ODSTs. Needless to say, it's a formidable opponent. Now, I know I said I wouldn't go with the whole USA vs. Alien, hurrah, freedom, but for the first country to fight them, it's the USA. Now, the USA needs no introduction. Number one economy on Earth, number one military. But they don't have shit on the Covenant. Now, the USA's saving grace here is well armed, it can definitely hold its own against the monster. Let's look at the USA stats real fast. USA entering 2024 has 2,300 aircraft, 5,000 tanks, and 1.5 million infantry. The Navy is going to be very helpful here besides the nuclear aspect. Oh, I forgot to mention, if it wasn't already overpowered enough, the supercarrier has ultra powerful shield. And spoiler alert, normal missiles aren't going to mean that much to a carrier. Now, of course, the USA could go in the wartime economy and pump out war equipment like your local trailer park girl pops out kids, but let's assume the Covenant doesn't give them time to prepare. All US assets have been brought back to the homeland. Invasion starts January 1st, 2024, and the Covenant lands on the East Coast, discovering massive amounts of foreigner artifacts in the area. US fighter aircraft are immediately alerted and go in. Now, one advantage the US does have is speed. The US fighter aircraft are incredibly faster than Covenant fighters. The Banshee tops out at a top speed of 62 miles per hour. Even then, the fastest Covenant fighters tops out about 500 miles per hour. A fucking A-10 could outspeed those things. The ship stays in orbit over the main area and deploys a quarter of its forces down to the ground. The US Army is the first ones in the fight, having been able to get 400k troops to the front line. Now, just like in Halo, humans can be outgunned, but I don't think you realize how deadly Covenant weaponry is. In the games, you get shot with a plasma weapon, you walk it off like nothing happened and bash the ground skull in. In the books, you get shot with a plasma weapon, you have a bigger hole in your body than Tom Hanks' forehead. Needless to say, the first few battles are devastating Covenant victories. The future of humanity rarely won battles, and when it did, it was extremely costly. The US simply wouldn't have enough troops to stop the Covenant in any meaningful way. Sure, their tanks may hit hard, but what's the Abrams gonna do against a massive ball of death flying out from a rave? From the week, the Covenant would get to DC, the supercarrier would deploy more troops over it, and begin using ship armaments to damage the city. DC falls within a day, and the Covenant invasion continues on. As much as I love the US, they wouldn't stand much of a chance here. And with that, the US falls. Now, we're gonna be moving on to the next country, which is, drum rolls please, Russia. This isn't going to be any better. I say this might go faster than the US. Much faster. Russia's already proved it's a paper tiger by its war in Ukraine, not being able to take down a much smaller country. I will acknowledge that the West has supplied them heavily. So the Covenant wipes. Next, Eurasia. You might say, Rex, Eurasia isn't a country. No, it's not. I'm uniting it. It's my video. I can do what I want. Even then, I think the united power of Eurasia might actually be able to stop this Covenant supercarrier. It's hovering at 13.7 million active personnel, 18.4 million reserve, 79,000 tanks, 28,000 aircraft. Now, I will note that a lot of the aircraft and tanks are going to be older Cold War stuff. The fighters can still outspeed anything the Covenant throws at them. This one would be the case of where the Covenant starts glassing, and that's where humanity has the option to attack. Because the shields are so powerful that nothing can penetrate them, but when glassing, they have to open a significant large hole in the shields. Say a few ICBMs flying the gap while it's glassing and no more supercarrier. But there's a reason it's a single supercarrier, because any more than that would make humanity bite the pillow. So right now, I think humanity would absolutely curb stomp in certain areas. If not united, humanity doesn't stand a chance. Going off topic here, but Halo lore actually falls off our timeline, so who knows? Maybe Halo is just Bungie and Free coming from the future to try and warn what's happening by making video games. So that'll be it for this video. This is my first video like this, so if I can get any feedback, I would very much appreciate it. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and this is Rex, signing out.